Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at Union Berlin from the Bundesliga, and once again we're joined by Alex from Vici News, who will give us a bit of an insider view on how Union Berlin are viewed in German speaking countries. But first we're going to have a quick introduction into Union Berlin. I couldn't find a better place to start than 2004 for this story, where the club urgently needed £1.5 million to avoid bankruptcy. The supporters organised a campaign called Bleed for Union, where they gave blood and forwarded the payment for their own blood to Union Berlin to help them avoid going out of business. If this doesn't sum up what the Union Berlin fans are like, then I don't think anything else would. They would literally sell their blood, sweat and tears to help keep their football club alive. Going back even further, before the collapse of the Berlin Wall, Union Berlin's biggest rivals were a team called Dynamo Berlin. Dynamo Berlin was the antithesis of what Union Berlin stood for. Berlin was a free football club without any connections to army, police or state, whereas Dynamo Berlin belonged to the Stasi military for state security behind the Iron Curtain. The stadium that Union Berlin still play at developed into a meeting point for regime critics of the Communist Party. Every time Union had a free kick, the fans would shout "Die Mauer muss weg" or "the wall has to fall." In fact, the club became such a symbol of anti-communism that people used to attend the matches who weren't even interested in football just to be part of the atmosphere. In 1989, the wall did fall as the Union fans wanted, and Dynamo Berlin also fell. Union's biggest rivals Dynamo are now a 5th division team who are known as BFC Dynamo, so outside of cup competitions it's very unlikely they're going to play anytime soon. The club is such a massive part of the community in Berlin that fans still gather before Christmas to drink mulled wine and sing Christmas carols together, even though the league is usually on a winter break. So, with fans this passionate about their community club, of course they deserve some success on the pitch, and that happened in 2019 when they finally got promoted to the Bundesliga. 20 years after the Berlin Wall fell, Berlin finally had an East German team in the Bundesliga. As of 2020, there are only 2 East German teams in the Bundesliga, Red Bull Leipzig and Union Berlin. So now you have a bit of a brief introduction of why Union Berlin are such an interesting team. I think it's time for us to learn a little bit more from Alex, who can go a bit more in depth into why it's taken them a while to get to the Bundesliga and maybe tell us a bit more about the fan culture. So, Union Berlin got promoted in 2019. Their first season was pretty good, but this season of course they are nearly in the Europa League spots. What have Union changed this season to perform so much better than they did last season?
I think their expectations are really grounded. They know that they're not a club with huge finances, and they're also very sympathetic in that way, and they're also very modest in their way of playing, and they know they want to compete and be passionate, and they want to transport kind of a message, I think, also, which also the fans when they are in the stadium, of course. But yeah, it has a lot to do with their grounded work and being very sensible with transfers, like Max Kruse, for example, who is now a really interesting figure at the club, or young players, or players who are hardworking. I think that's the system they're playing right now.
The fans obviously have quite a lot of dedication for their club, with the blood selling, for example. Would you say the club and the stadium are probably the most important part of the team?
Yeah, I think the stadium and the people are the most important thing about the club, as you said, with the blood thing. I think you can see how much they are valuing the club. So definitely, yeah, I would say that.
So, on to results on the pitch. How do you think they'll get on this season? Of course, they're nearly at the Europa League positions, but do you think they'll be able to hang on there, or do you think they'll eventually drop further down the table?
I think they will definitely place themselves in a midfield again. I think they will have a little bit of a downfall, maybe because the other teams are getting used to that kind of play style, but I still think they will be going strong, and with a little bit of luck and a little bit of, if the results come their way, they definitely can achieve Europa League and will stun everybody who said something against them. And if the fans are back, that would be such an amazing atmosphere if they do.
So, as of February 2021, they actually have less goals conceded than Bayern Munich, who are top of the table. Do you think the defence is a key part to how they play? Is it kind of like a Mourinho style?
For sure. They have such a solid line. They play 5 at the back, like a modern kind of style of play, where the right back and left back are going forward, and the 3 center backs are very solid, and the midfield also protecting the back line. And then, yeah, I think it's also the reason why no team can really break them down at their home stadium. It's because they have such a high, solid, compact defense, and when they're going forward, they're very effective when they score goals. So I think that's definitely a concept or a style of play which makes them unique in a way.
Of course, most people who subscribe to my channel are a big fan of FIFA. Are there any players that you think, if someone does give a Union Berlin career mode a go, for example, they shouldn't sell, or they should give a try in their career mode save?
Trimmel is important. I will also say that I think you should keep the unit in the midfield. I think Bremer, Anrich are the solid center mids who are basically protecting the back line. As yeah, Premel and Anrich, and they're also a very long time with the club now. So yeah, it's kind of a nostalgic thing. Who the else? Yeah, and Trimmer, of course, because he's the captain, and he's really identifying the team spirit of the club. So yeah, let's see something else. I mean, as I said, you have Becker and Avani, who are very fast players to front, who are very fun to use. And in FIFA 21, fast players are always the best thing to have in your team. And Cruz at the behind them as a creative player definitely would also be interesting options.
So, unfortunately, that's all we have time for in today's video. Thank you for coming along and talking about Union Berlin for me, Alex. I hope everyone at home's learned a little bit about another capital city club. Any final words you want to say in this one then, Alex?
Yeah, thanks for the invitation to your channel again. Definitely give this man a sub and like his video, and share a comment, and definitely look up some parts of Union Berlin. They have a really fascinating history, and there are really great videos also on it on YouTube, beside this video, of course. And if you want to know about Union Berlin from a more German side of you, if you're fluently in speaking German, you can go to my channel and watch a video where I did also something on Union Berlin, where I talk about the reasons in real life why they are so successful at the moment. And yeah, I wish you all have a good day.
I'll make sure there's a link to the video that Alex mentioned that he's done on Union Berlin in German in the description. So if you do speak German, or you want to try and read the YouTube auto-generated English subtitles for it, make sure you do go have a look at his channel and subscribe if you're interested in the videos that he makes. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Alex, once again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.